On a warm summer evening in Texas, what should have been the safe laughter of children inside a family home turned instead into screams that never stopped echoing. 4 young girls, sisters bound by blood and love, were found shot to death by the one person meant to keep them safe, their mother. This crime stunned the entire nation. Yet, in the days that followed, it wasn't only the killings that left people speechless. It was what the grieving father said. Facing a world demanding answers, he stood in front of cameras and whispered through tears, "She is not a monster." This is a haunting story of how a mother unraveled into violence, how 4 daughters lost their lives in the most unthinkable way, and how one man's love for his wife defied everything we thought we knew about grief and justice. Hello, welcome to the Serial Crime Chronicles. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button now. Stay updated on shocking true crimes that rarely see the light of day. Stick with us till the end as we uncover another chilling mystery. They were the family people admired. The kind you see at Sunday services, smiling at community cookouts, the kids playing barefoot in the backyard while mom and dad wave from porch. The father worked long shifts to support them, building a modest but comfortable life in suburban Texas. He was known for his loyalty to his wife, his dedication to his daughters, and his quiet pride in the family he had built. The mother, soft-spoken and polite, was almost never seen without her girls at her side. Neighbors recalled her pushing strollers down the block, holding tiny hands as she crossed the street, her face glowing with the effort and exhaustion of motherhood. The daughters ranged in age from toddler to teen. They were vibrant, full of life. One dreamed of becoming a veterinarian, another a teacher. The younger 2 clung to stuffed animals and bedtime stories. To the outside world, this family was unshakable, a picture of suburban bliss. But that was just the surface. Behind the smiling photographs and polite hellos was a woman in quiet crisis. The mother had long struggled with depression. Friends noticed her withdrawing from conversations, her voice growing softer, her smiles less frequent. She often spoke of being overwhelmed, though she rarely gave specifics. Her husband thought she was simply tired, stretched thin by the challenges of raising 4 daughters. But the weight she carried went deeper. Nights were sleepless. Days blurred into cycles of cooking, cleaning, and childcare that left her drained. And when her husband left for work, she was alone with her thoughts. And those thoughts were increasingly dark. A doctor prescribed medication. Therapy was recommended. For a while, there seemed to be improvement. But gradually, her mental health spiraled. She confided in a close friend that she sometimes felt her children would be better off without her. The friend dismissed it as stress. No one thought she was dangerous, but she was slipping further into a world of despair that no one else could see. The signs were there, but they were subtle. She stopped attending church, where she had once been an active participant. She avoided gatherings, keeping the children close to home. When neighbors knocked, she answered with 4 smiles. Her husband noticed her temper rising. She grew irritable with the children, scolding them for small mistakes. On some nights, she cried without explanation. Still, there was nothing that screamed danger. No history of violence. No criminal record. No violent outbursts in public. Just a woman slowly crumbling under the weight of motherhood, mental illness, and isolation. The system had touched her life, doctors, therapists, but it had never dug deep enough. She became another case that slipped through the cracks. To keep up with this series and even more interesting true crime stories that never came to light until now, hit the red subscribe button. Now back to the story. It was a quiet summer evening. The girls were in their rooms, doing what kids do, watching television, whispering secrets, preparing for bed. The father was out working late, unaware of the storm brewing in his own home. The mother sat alone, staring at the walls, lost in thoughts only she knew. Perhaps she felt trapped. Perhaps she believed the voices in her head. Perhaps she convinced herself that ending her daughter's lives was an act of mercy, not murder. What we know is this. She picked up a handgun, loaded it, and walked down the hallway. One by one, she entered the bedrooms. The sound of gunfire shattered the stillness. Screams of terror rang out, followed by silence. The older girls tried to shield their younger sisters, but the mother kept firing, methodically moving through the house. By the time she stopped, 4 daughters lay lifeless. Their toys, their drawings, their dreams, all silenced in a matter of minutes. Neighbors heard the gunshots and the screams. 911 calls poured in. When police arrived, the scene was one of chaos and devastation. The officers entered to find the girls' bodies inside their bedrooms. Blood stained the walls, toys lay scattered, and the air hung heavy with the smell of gunpowder and death. The mother stood there, calm, almost attached. She didn't resist arrest. She simply surrendered, as if she had been waiting for it. Investigators were shaken. Even seasoned detectives struggled to process what they saw. One later described it as the most disturbing scene of his career. Why? That was the question on everyone's lips. Detectives pieced together the mother's struggles with depression, her history of counseling, her recent isolation. They discovered that the handgun belonged to the household, legally purchased by her husband for protection. There was no evidence of substance abuse, no financial crisis, no affair, no feud, just a mother, her mental health fractured, who crossed a line no one thought possible. Forensic tests confirmed what no one wanted to believe. Every shot was fired by her hand. The case was airtight. News spread quickly. Reporters swarmed the quiet neighborhood. Vigils were held, candles lit for 4 girls who would never grow up. But as the community demanded answers and justice, the father, the girl's grieving dad, emerged with a statement that stunned the world. In court, he sat through every excruciating detail. The photos, the autopsies, the testimonies of police officers describing the crime scene. He wept openly, clutching tissues, his hands shaking. And yet, when asked for his thoughts, he refused to vilify his wife. "She is not a monster," he said. "She is my wife, the mother of my children. She was sick, and we failed to save her." His words divided the courtroom. Some were moved by his compassion, calling it an act of grace beyond comprehension. Others were enraged, believing his loyalty dished the memory of his daughters. How could he defend the woman who murdered them? But for him, love and tragedy were forever intertwined. He had lost everything. Condemning her wouldn't bring his girls back. The trial was swift. Prosecutors laid out the evidence: the firearm, the autopsies, the mother's confession. The defense pleaded insanity, citing her long struggle with mental illness. The jury deliberated for hours. In the end, they convicted her of capital murder. The sentence: life without parole. She showed little reaction. No tears, no outburst, only a blank stare, as though she had already left the world around her. For the husband, there was no victory in the verdict, only silence and the weight of full graves. The story of this Texas mother remains one of the most haunting true crime cases in recent memory. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. How does untreated mental illness spiral into violence? Could this have been prevented if someone had intervened sooner? And most haunting of all, how do you define someone who commits the ultimate betrayal of motherhood? To some, she will always be a monster. To her husband, she remains a broken woman he once loved, a woman destroyed by illness before she destroyed her family. Her daughters live on in photographs, in memories, in the shattered hearts of those who loved them. Their laughter is gone, but their story lingers as a warning of what happens when silent suffering goes unseen. This case leaves us with one final, impossible question. Can love survive the unthinkable? Can forgiveness coexist with tragedy? If this story sent chills down your spine, don't walk away. Subscribe now and hit the bell. Join us as we uncover the hidden truths behind shocking crimes like this one, and see for yourself how appearances can be deadly deceiving. Stay with us till the end. You won't want to miss what comes next.